Hi everybody, Diana here. Welcome to Sew in Common, home of Build a Quilt, which we do in the hoop of our embroidery machine. And I wanted to come to you today with a little pattern that can be made with our Build a Quilt Basics Block 1 set that I call the candy cane. And you could call it the barber pole too. It's that idea of a color and a color and they alternate and they're on a diagonal. That's what we're talking about. I call it the candy cane. What do you call it? Do you call it candy cane or barber pole? Let me know in the comments because I'd love to know. And so this is it. This is that idea. See this? How it's got that alternating color and they're on the angle. That's what we're going to talk about today. And this is created with our Build a Quilt Basic Block 1 set, as I said. And you're going to use the half square triangle in 2 sizes. Or we'll even talk about you could take and use the half square triangle in one size and the solid square in another. We'll talk about both of those today because I wanted to bring you some more ideas for things that you can do with the system. Now, you can translate your traditional quilt blocks and make them with the system. We've talked about that. I have a video about that, which I'll link at the end of this video for you. But this is a great little, almost it's a beginner level pattern. And it's great for anyone who's never quilted. This is the first time you're ever piecing and you're learning how to piece in the hoop. It's the first time you've ever pieced anything. This is great for that. Or maybe you're a lifelong quilter like I am, 50 plus years. But you're now switching over to doing it with your embroidery machine for whatever reason. There's lots of reasons you might want to do that, right? So this is a great project for you as well. And it's just a fun project for anyone, I think. And, I know we are on the last day of August, but already, the word that's in my mind that's flowing around up here. Can you see the little bubble? Holidays. They're coming. They sure are coming. So I thought it would be fun to give you this idea. So all you need is our Build a Quilt system, which you can find at our website, sewincommon.com. It's still at its introductory price until the 15th of September, because it's been out for a little while now. So it's going to go to its regular price, but catch it at the introductory price because you're saving $10, $11. So that's a good savings. And you get a full how-to video, you get written instructions, you get your cut sheet, what I call the cut sheet that tells you how to cut your pieces for each of the sizes. You get your square, your half square, and your quarter square triangle in 4 sizes, 2, 3, 4, and 5-inch finished. And you can do lots of blocks. 15-inch square blocks like you see here. Now, obviously, those were not completed on the embroidery machine because there's not a hoop to do that in. So we do finish our larger blocks on the sewing machine, but here is the great thing about Build a Quilt. There are guidelines on the back of each block when you sew it. They just sew out automatically, and you stitch down them to stitch your pieces together. So as long as you can follow a line, you're good. And so there's no need for a 1/4-inch foot. So if you've tried to quilt in the past and you're like, oh, I can't do it, that 1/4-inch makes me crazy, I can't get it. You don't need a 1/4-inch foot. You're going to get a 1/4-inch seam, but you're not even going to have to worry about a 1/4-inch foot, which makes this also a great system for folks that are brand new and some of our younger subscribers and followers as well. Because trust me, if technology makes something easier for us to do in this vein, let's do it. Let's use it. And let's keep passing on the love of quilting. Alrighty, so let's flip over under my other camera because I want to show you this in more detail and we'll talk more about how it gets put together. So let me bring up my other camera and we'll get me out of the way. There we go. Alrighty, so here we are under the camera and let me lay it out this way so it's laid out vertically. Now I am just making a little mat for my dining room table. I always like having a mat on the dining room table because I love having flowers in the center of my table. I should change them out more often because sometimes they're dead flowers sitting there for about a week. Isn't that awful? But sometimes I don't get around to switching them right when I should. Enough. Let's talk about this. This is our candy cane or our barber pole. Let me even rotate it this way. You guys will see that better. There we go. And so all I've done is made 3 rows, and I put the smaller ones in between. And we'll talk about that in a moment. So these half square triangles are the 4-inch finished half square triangles from our Build-A-Quilt system. As with any half square triangle, half light, half dark, half medium, half dark, half light, half medium, that kind of thing. A lot of times half square triangles are done in solids, like a white and a red would be your candy cane colors. Could you do it for Hanukkah? Sure. I might have even chosen that fabric for my Hanukkah table because we do Christmas and Hanukkah in our home. So I might have even have chosen that. But you could do blue and white or blue and silver, or do your silver and white or something in the center here on the smaller ones, anything like that. Even Kwanzaa, I think Kwanzaa colors are red, green, and black. Black for the people, red for the journey. Excuse me, I'm not quite sure. And then green is for the future, I believe. That's the thought there. And so you could do 2 colors in here. You could do different colors in the rows. You could do the extra colors in here because I know they throw in gold. I think so, that's the flame because they have kind of a menorah idea, a candelabra idea. And I think the brown, there's even brown for the wood that is the candle holder. So you could even do it for Kwanzaa. So this works for any holiday you want. Even Thanksgiving here in the US, we could work that up. You could even work up something like this for Easter, but I've never thought about candy canes for Easter, to be honest. But candy canes come in every color now, green and blue and pink. I've seen them in orange and yellow. Let me know in the comments what flavor you like, the traditional peppermint, or do you like that cherry flavor? I actually like the cherry flavor a lot. So I'm going to do something here. I'm going to fold this over. And let's see what we would get if we left the small ones out. Let's just play for a moment here. Oh, I like that. You get that same effect, but you get alternating lines. Oh, I really like that. And that's still a good size for the center of a table. Or you could put this on the top of a dresser. Maybe if you wanted to do it up all in holiday colors to decorate up a bedroom, maybe to decorate up a guest room. You're going to have people come and stay with you for the holidays. That could be fun too. So I like that idea even without this. So now if you'll notice, I don't have all of these going in the same direction in these little skinny rows because I was really playing. So in some of them I matched them up. So I also got the candy cane idea going. And then in some places I didn't, like here, these are, but this isn't. So I kind of was just playing around with it, and that's fine by me. This will be for every day. I'll probably do a stipple quilt on it and be done. And of course the quilting will be done on my embroidery machine. So let's say, here's the 4-inch. These are the 2-inch. Now, in order to get this design to work out, it's very easy. You start with your first half square triangle. You can, whatever direction, dark on top, light on top, whatever you prefer. And the second one, you make sure that these match up. And you'll be able to see it instantly that they've matched up and they've formed this diagonal. You're good to go. So then whatever color this is, in this case it's the lighter fabric, this one, the lighter fabric, goes on top, and I get that design, and you keep going. Now you could work this out if you're going to do it like this, you could work this out where you get a solid line across in each, but I kind of like that alternating, the way they skip a row and alternate. I kind of like that better. It gives the whole idea more movement to it. So that's all there is to making the candy cane or the barber pole, just matching up every two that are put together get matched up. So dark and dark, dark and dark, which automatically puts light and light together and light and light together. And you could do the same thing down here. Just that's how I've done it right here. Dark and dark. So if I wanted to continue that candy cane idea, I would have flipped these around. I did get two candy canes stripes here and here, but I could have done it just the way I did this in here. But like I said, I was just playing with that. But this is very easy. It's very beginner friendly. And let's go back to the main camera now. It's very beginner friendly because all you're making is your half square triangle in the two sizes. Now, this thin one here, instead of using the 2-inch finished half square triangle, use the 2-inch solid square and make them alternating colors in squares. It would go really quickly that way because you'd be doing about half the piecing. But you could work that and play with that. Would I mess around doing the quarter square in there? No, I think that might get a little too hard for the eye to focus in. When in fact, I think this will look better if I did these just in solid squares, because then I think you focus on that candy cane idea, that pattern a little. Your eye focuses in on that a little bit better. So see, as quilters, we're always playing, we're always learning new things. So, and like I said, I've been quilting for over 50 years and I still think about things and learn things. So if I made those half squares or those 2-inch squares, let's see, there we go. If I made those in solids, alternating solids, my eye might focus more on that candy cane. Or if you just want to cut 2.5-inch strips, but then and sew them in, at this point you would have to sew them in with a 1/4-inch foot, and we're trying to get away from that. But we have strips, solid strips in a set coming. Yay! I know so many of you are like, can we please get border strips? They're coming. They're coming. We have another basic set 2 coming still this year. And then at the beginning of next year, the beginning of next year. I was going to say maybe we'd get out the strips this year. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it'll be a bonus to the next. I don't know. You tell me. Do you want strips right away? Do you want to be able to do border strips right away? The solid ones? Let me know in the comments. Because if you guys want it, then I will do it that way. I have things planned out for at least the next couple of years, how I want these to come out. But you guys are the creators. And if you want to those specific ones sooner than that, you let me know. But we do have a basic 2 coming out still this year. I won't tell you what's in it yet, but they're very basic blocks that you will absolutely need. Play with it. And so the half square triangle, I always tell all of my quilting students when I teach out in public, sometimes I will go and teach a class at a community college, or sometimes I'll even teach at a local high school. Passing on this skill is the only way it will continue through time. And so in honor of my grandmother, I teach it publicly whenever I can, just to keep going. And I love teaching the high school students. I love it. But learning that half square triangle and getting really familiar with how those 2 pieces, it's just 2 pieces of fabric, come together, will just, that knowledge alone and that comfortableness that you get with it will help you with everything else, because you'll understand, you'll look and go, oh, this is kind of like when I do a half square triangle, even though I'm not making a half square triangle, this works that way. I get it. And it'll just make it so much easier for you. So, and there's so many quilts that can be done. If you wanted to do this all in 5-inch half square triangles, the biggest one in here, oh my goodness, you could make a whole quilt. Leave this out or save this kind of a thing for a border and just do a whole thing of candy canes, you can make a beautiful quilt, a beautiful throw quilt. Okay, anything like that. Now, for the Build-A-Quilt system, you only need a 5x7 hoop to make all these blocks. So 2, 3, 4, and 5-inch finished. Just the 5x7. Some of the smaller ones can be made in a 4x4 hoop. So if you only have a 4x4 hoop now, I still say get your system while it's on introductory price. Use the smaller ones, because once you make them and you start loving this process, you're going to fall in love with quilting. And then you're going to want to go get a machine that at least has a 5x7. Most machines have 5x7 hoops now, but I know some of the older ones only came with 4x4, but there's still lots you can do. So the candy cane quilt pattern and the Build-A-Quilt. Great little project. Go grab your Build-A-Quilt system over at our website, sewandcommon.com. It's a very, very small investment, $39. That's very inexpensive, but it is going up to its regular price on the 15th of $50, which is still an amazing value for everything that comes in that product. Because like I said, you get your cut sheets, you get your coloring sheets. What are your coloring sheets? Well, I don't have one for that, but here, it's a coloring sheet for this. It comes with the pattern. You get in and color the things, the colors that you think you want to go together. And then you look at it and you go, oh yeah, looks really good. And then you can mark it up, this piece and that piece, and number them or anything you want to do. Or you look at it and you go, oh, what was I thinking? And then you go and you do another one. So the coloring sheet, folks find really helpful for planning colors, because you're doing it with something that can be thrown away, recycled paper, before you start cutting all that beautiful fabric that you have, right? Alrighty. So Build-A-Quilt system, 5x7. Now hoop. Now I want to talk to you briefly about my rotary cutter with the pinking blade, that little baby right there. Several of you have asked, where do you get your blades? What brand do you buy? I think probably any brand that makes a pinking blade is fine. But since you asked what I get the 45mm Olfa pinking rotary blade. That right there, that's what I get. If your fabric shop or your quilting shop sells Olfa, if they don't have them in stock, they could order them for you. I order mine directly, you know, the place that now has the blue truck that is as infamous in our neighborhood as the UPS truck is, the Prime van. You guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that Prime van is in our neighborhood every single day. In fact, the guy that comes to my door, he's on the Christmas card list now, because they're always here on that. We live in a rural area. Closest fabric shop to me is 2 hours away. So anyway, Olfa 45mm. And this package, is there 2 in here? No, there's only 1 in here. 1 in here. But when I take this blade off, I put it in this plastic container and put it in recycling, because my husband has a recycling bin for the metal. And then he gives me the little packaging back, and I can reuse it for something else. I can put straight pins in here, little for travel, something like that, just to keep reusing them and not wasting. But I always put them in that when I put them in recycle. So when he goes to grab it, he doesn't cut himself. Because even though these aren't sharp enough anymore really to get a good cut on the fabric when I give them to him, they're still sharp enough to cut you. So we don't want that. So Olfa 45mm. But like I said, I think any brand you find would be okay. These last me a really long time. Olfa is just an amazingly good brand. So that you know, I don't have a code for you, anything like that. I don't do codes and stuff, because when I tell you about products, I want to tell you truly what I think about them. And I feel like if I'm being, if I have a benefit coming to me for telling you about it, I might not, that might hold me back from saying what I really feel about something. So I don't do the code thing. Sorry about that. But I know that a lot of places that sell these have like coupons in their ads and stuff. So you can get coupons and stuff like that. Okay. All right. So that's everything I wanted to bring to you on this last day of August. And I thought, well, why not talk about holidays? Why not talk about candy canes? All right, everybody. So please subscribe to our channel. We love having you. We are over 9,000 subscribers now. You guys just blow me away. Thank you so much, and welcome to all of our subscribers, whether you've been here forever or you're brand new this week. Welcome, and thank you for subscribing. Click the little button to set your notifications. That way you'll know when I put up new content. And click the like button, would you please? That really helps us out tremendously with YouTube's little algorithm. So I would appreciate that, Noah. And thank you all so very much. And until next time, go make some candy canes and sew life beautiful. Bye for now, everybody.